Good afternoon, Bruin fans, and welcome to another episode of Something Bruin here with Coach Cook. Coach Cook, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing real good, man. How are you, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing great, and
Awesome.
let's start here right off the beginning. Last week we go to Churchland to kick off the 2022 season, and boy, if you were late getting to the game, it was already 7-7 here with Churchland taking the opening kickoff to the house, 83 yards, and then we come right back with Billups to Frazier for a big long play to the house, and right off the bat, it's 7-7.
Absolutely. A lot of sparks flying in the opening of the game, but Churchland, their special teams executed well. They took advantage of what we didn't do great and next thing you know, it's 6-0, and an extra point makes it 7-0. The first play of the game was a game plan that I kind of put together Saturday and shared it with several coaches. And then on Monday, we shared it with the team. And we didn't know what hash we would use it on and what portion of that opening drive. But, we felt at the time with that big special teams play, we needed something real quick to answer the bell. And Paul and CJ Frazier got it done.
Yes, and then it kind of locked in there with knockout drag out game. Second quarter we're still tied at 7. Churchland's quarterback, uh, takes it in 2 yards. Into the end zone, extra point good, 14-7. But then our another star on our offensive side, number 9, Shamik Blizzard
Yeah,
here takes it into the house 5 yards, and it's deadlock at 14.
absolutely. He's a special player without a doubt. We kind of rested him throughout camp and wanted him to kind of be fresh and fresh legs and things of that nature. He took a lot of mental reps, but man, when you finally put the ball in his hand, he was ready to rock and roll. So Blizz did a very good job, protecting the football and running hard and running behind his pads. And very thankful for a young man like that to be a part of our program.
Yes, and Churchland here with the last possession right before half. Their quarterback takes it in, 13 yards, and extra point failed. But they go into the locker room. They got the home field, and they go in the locker room only up 6.
Absolutely. What I told him at halftime, and this is nothing arrogant or cocky, but we told our kids we're going to win this game. What we got to do is trust. That's a message Coach Thomas has been kind of sharing with our young men the last few weeks. But then Coach E also emphasized execute, and to me that part is important. It doesn't matter who's in front of you, whatever's called, you got to execute the rep. To me, that's really what kept our kids in, our energy of our coaching staff, the philosophy that we had going into that game. Early in the week, I told the guys the key to this game is patience. It will be great to get in a good position where we're up comfortably, so on and so forth. But and I know the Friendship Cup, it's either a lopsided victory or it's going to be a tight ball game. And we just kept our kids engaged and locked in to that mindset.
Yes, and so since Churchland got the ball to begin the game, we get the ball to start the third quarter, and on our first drive, Billups, 45-yard run. I mean, he already threw a pass for a touchdown, and now just showing his athletic ability with a long run and the offensive line with the blocking and the extra point, and here we are up 1 here in the third quarter.
Absolutely. Well, that package was also influenced early in the weekend to prep for Churchland that I don't think a lot of people would be prepared for or have, kind of game plan for us. So, Paul just showed how good he is. It doesn't matter whether he's a receiver, a running back, a quarterback. He's one of those rare athletes of our decade and time that could just get it done. It's just about getting the ball in his hands and allowing him to be a playmaker. Now, we all say as running backs, though, you're nothing without the front line. So our offensive line, I'm going to use a defensive mindset. They bend but didn't break. They just kept working, whatever we were calling. And that's why you saw those guys like Paul and Shameik, pop the big runs.
Right. Yes. And, to start the fourth quarter, it's our defense buckled down and held the 1 point lead going in the fourth quarter. And to piggyback on what you just talked about with Shameik, with a long run, he takes it in from 61 yards out. The extra point, not good, but here we are up 27-20 here with about 9.5 minutes left to go in regulation.
Absolutely. Again, Shameik showed why, he's a New Balance All-American at track. He's a football player, and that's why I tell every recruit that has come in and seen his tape and, kind of listened to me sell the type of athlete he is, student athlete he is. He's a football guy that runs track. He's not a track guy that plays football. And to me, those are two different components when it comes to that type of athlete. But he showed you that he's gifted in more than one way, if that makes sense. But yeah, we found a way again to chip. I told our guys in the headsets, we can throw the ball all over the yard, but we got to establish a run game. And, Paul Billups, along with C.J. Frazier on some jet sweeps, and Shameik Blizzard really helped that. Also, Quizzy, extending the drive with his legs. He's a quarterback. He's a pocket passer that can scramble, not a scrambling quarterback that can throw. So, when he needed to run, he did what we needed, and he extended the drive. So, again, we're pleased the way, game one is. We know it's going to be a lot of mistakes, generally by both opponents, and it's a lot of adjustment as coaches to really find out the team we're going to be and what we can look like moving forward. So, and then on top of that, you're playing Churchland, week 0. That's a backyard brawl, and all stats, all records, all stars, all accolades are thrown out. And this 4 quarters, 48 minutes is just real, real good football.
Yeah, and I mean, they got us, later on in the fourth quarter with about 4 minutes left. Their quarterback scoring his 3rd touchdown of the game, and extra points good. But the bend don't break mentality. It was tied going into at the end of regulation, but here it is, game 1, backyard brawl, Friendship Cup, and we're out the gate playing the game going into overtime.
Absolutely. It's everything you want. And to me, that overtime is a lot of conditioning, a lot of just discipline, a lot of the little things that get you to that 1-0 mindset. And we found a way to make a way. Couldn't tell you if we had to play overtime over, will it be the same? But that was a special night. I seen someone, a media platform, title it as an instant classic, kind of like ESPN does, but some of its college football game matchups. But without a doubt, this is one of the games that will forever go down in the record books as, the most exciting to open up week 0.
Yes. And so, the game winner was Billups to Frazier. And with it being in overtime, the extra point wasn't needed. And to get out of there with a win, and even though it did go into overtime, the kids and the short bus ride home, it was nice with the 1-0 mentality, leave there and go into practice or film session there on Saturday, knowing that we are 1-0.
Absolutely. I received another message that, don't overanalyze this game, which is smart. Don't overanalyze this game. It's still August. We really put too much in this particular game. Then, by the time we get to September and October, we may be all over the place. So we told our kids, let this be good teach tape and, focus on the low lights. We know there are some highlights, but the low lights can lead to other big things down the road. So I believe our kids handled it well. This week is obviously a test coming up. You come off a big win. How do you handle that? How do you move on? How do you move forward? And that's been our challenge this week, not to get too far ahead. But, yes, I'll tell you that last play call was a collective agreement from our entire offensive staff, And I don't, and this is nothing against Churchland, but I don't think they would think that we would run that same play again, and it just happened to fall into our favor. And, the rest is history. But, kudos to my offensive staff for, keeping it together throughout the entire game. And, we had some good drives, and we gave our defense some chances to stay in the fight. And our defense equally did the same. They got the ball back to us when we needed to, and the offense found a way to execute on the drives that we had possessions of. And, I'm very pleased with them. We also knew real quick, Mark, that, they were going to keep the ball on the ground. They had a good game plan, in my humble opinion. Keep the ball on the ground, keep the athletes off the field, and run the clock. And, again, I think that's a testament when defenses get a stop to give the offense the ball back, whether it's a little time left or a lot of time left, So, again, those kids on the defensive side competed. They can get better each week, just like offense, just like us as coaches. So we're very pleased, coming out of there with that 1-0 mindset, but yet we got to move on.
Yes, and kudos to the defense. I mean, yes, they did. They did tie it there late in the fourth quarter, but they're in 24 minutes of play in the second half, and the one possession in overtime, the defense only gave up a touchdown.
Absolutely. That part right there to me is a good sign. Again, we don't want to overanalyze it, but yet we got to look at some of the small details, and that's a good sign, that our defense is growing, and each week we want to see them, to continue to improve. But, yeah, we're very pleased with that outcome.
Right. And, not to get ahead of ourselves, and that's a perfect example because the way our schedule is, yes, it's game tomorrow, but it's also the last non-district game before we open up district play next Friday. And but you always want to just focus on the next game ahead, which is tomorrow, the home opener at Brandon Stadium.
Yep, absolutely. Couple of cool fun facts. As we mentioned, I believe in our week 0 episode or, preseason, that this is the 25th and 20th reunion of our 2002 and 1997 undefeated football teams. But this is also the 20th anniversary or reunion of the Bruin Crazies, which is pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's pretty cool. And I give credit to Coach Jay for that stat. He threw that out there. So, it's a little bit later on today, we're going to highlight the Bruin Crazies as they've been phenomenal for us over the years and obviously over the last 2 decades. So that's pretty cool.
Right. Yes. And I did, when I posted the episode last week, I did, tag some players there from the 97, the 02 team, that maybe either homecoming week or leading up, throughout leading up until homecoming, maybe get some players or some assistant coaches there from the 97 02 team. I do remember the Bruin Crazies here having a strong showing here in the last 10, 15 years, but I didn't realize that it went back to the early 2000s. And I
Yeah.
know when you and I were at the halls of Western Branch, there wasn't much student section back
Yeah,
then.
absolutely. You're right. We were scattered everywhere. But again, I'm gonna give that credit to Coach Jay. He kind of shared that with me several weeks ago. And again, unless we're missing somebody let us know. But we like to be accurate on this show, and we want to make sure that you're getting quality information. But yes, without a doubt, I trust Coach Jay, and I know he's right. But it's pretty cool to have that support. So we're looking forward with school opening back up soon and things becoming a little bit more open within the school system, that we get their support in the stands every Friday night.
Right. Yes. And with leading into tomorrow, I saw that Mrs. Williamson already posted out that it's red, white, and blue. Come on out. But we host another or we play another Eastern District opponent. They're Granby Comet. Last year we went to Norfolk. This year they're coming here to Bruin Drive.
Correct. So we had a home and home. As you mentioned last year, that was their home game. Now this is ours with the home and home, matchup obligation. So, they're coming into the den, like some of our coaches, alum like to say. And, what we want to do is see if we got better. We just want to see if we improve. We preach all week that, how you practice is how you play. The things that you do in practice, you try to get around, it will show up on Friday nights. So we really, really hope that, our young men have been able to move on and understand that the week one, but our second game of the season is another opponent coming in and trying to bring their A game.
Right. Yes. And for fans out there, Granby did open up last week, and they played Menchville. Tough game for them, but I know that they're going to be coming across the downtown tunnel, and they're going to be ready for a fight there as they come to the visitor sidelines.
Absolutely. Coach Archie does a great job preparing those guys. For us, like I said, we want to focus on, did we get better? Did we improve what we saw on tape? Did we make corrections on? And, we go from there. So I'm excited. Shamik's ready to roll and really showcase his skill set and ability. CJ Frazier, Paul Billups, Copeland, and Cook are also ready to, continue to push forward. And Trotman, doing a phenomenal job orchestrating our offense. I like to call him a point guard. All you got to do is distribute the ball around the field and, watch these guys make moves and go. But we're excited about that. Right now, our O-line is as healthy as it's been. So we're, very pleased. And defensively, we're watching guys kind of step up week in and week out. This whole week has been just details and technique. And our defensive staff has been very pleased, along with our special teams coordinator and co-coordinator and Coach Ed and Ted, in how we've been able to kind of come to balance and move forward. So tomorrow night it's going to be a good matchup. Our Bruins want to come out and play to our standard and, continue to look forward to the small 1-0 victories. And then hopefully, ultimately, we have that other 1-0, which goes in the win-loss column. So that's our goal.
Yeah, and let's not forget that we did the episode last week before the JV Bruins opened up not only their 22 season schedule, but their home opener, and they had a shutout there.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I was so pleased with those guys. It's a testament to our coaching staff. Our varsity staff is our JV staff. So we develop every kid at each coaching position from A to Z. So they hear one technique, one teach, one fundamental, and, to see it translate to a Thursday night on JV, and then eventually Friday nights on varsity. It was awesome to watch. But our kids did a great job. I think we had a pick six that was kind of like a walk-off home run to end the game. And, we were just real pleased with their energy. We were pleased with their physicality. And then most importantly, their discipline and attention to detail. So, Coach Thomas really got those guys rolling. Coach E, at the helm, just getting those things going for us. And then our staff were there in support. And that's the cool part about how we run and how we do things here at Western Branch.
Yeah, and a little side note, the JV Bruins, no game tonight, and then they'll be back home next Thursday, I think, against Nansen River, right?
Yep, absolutely. They have a bye this week, and then they get to crank back up. So they've had pretty much a full week of practice this week, which is good. Some of those guys do dress on Friday nights. So, for some or quite a few, they still get that extra rep, that extra prep and pregame and game alike. So, but they'll be ready to come back on Monday. They had a good practice on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So that should carry over as they get ready for Nansemond River JV. So, again, those guys are off. They get to kind of enjoy this back-to-school night today, where they get to do orientation as an incoming freshman or newcomer to the school, and then they'll be ready to get ready for Nansemond River next week.
Yeah, and I know that this is 2022, but the technology, the excitement around high school football.
Yes.
I mean, I was kind of chuckling last Friday night as my wife and I were still out of town, out of the state, and I was still getting text messages, from longtime friends, hey, what's the update with the score?
Right.
Acting like that I was still there, but with the news coverage, the Virginia Pilot, and then also also different people on Twitter.
Yeah.
People were definitely keeping up of Western Branch Churchland.
Yes, absolutely. It was packed. I'll tell you that. It was standing room only.
Wow.
Third, fourth quarter, I believe at the end of the first, you just knew it was going to be that type of night. And to me, it felt good. It felt like old times, to see so many people out in support of both schools and community. But yeah, it was one of those stressful football games, I guess, depending on who you were rooting for. But yes, what a overwhelming amount of support. To me, that's just a huge testament of how big Bruin Nation is, when it comes to our support of our sports, not only football, but field hockey and track and volleyball, basketball, and all the other sports that are represented here. And that means a lot to us as a community, but more importantly, as a team.
Yes, and as we go into our last section here, and this week's part of Bruin football flashback is with college football. There was a little bit of action last weekend, but everybody gets underway this weekend, and then NFL is right around the corner. So just want to kind of spotlight, some first of all, a handful of Bruin alums just that graduated last year and playing collegiately, and their season here kicking off this weekend.
Absolutely. As a staff, we've kind of had like small little interactions, with all of our guys that are at the next level, which is pretty cool. But, I think the biggest experience that they endured was what fall camp feels like at the next level. That's a challenge right there. That is a challenge. Mom and dad aren't there to pick you up, and, you got a lot of business decisions to make every single day. But, they made it through. And I think, on the other side of that, when they do the media days, they see where, the hard work pays off. And, so we got quite a few that are, currently, on college teams right now and getting ready to roll. If I could do a quick roll call, starting with Christopher Newport. You got Mossy Bruning. You have Graham Terry. Graham Terry is going to probably medical redshirt this year, but he'll be back in the fold. You have at Norfolk State, Caleb Broadbent, Jay Sean Frazier. And those guys are kind of figuring out where they're going to be. William and Mary, you have Desmond Cook, middle linebacker, and I want to say Shenandoah. You have Todd and Mike Bowen. So we got quite a few big Bruins, out there ready to play football at the next level. And we have a couple that are taking a college route first, and then possibly walking on and earning their scholarships in the spring. So, it's upwards to 9 to 10 guys that we should have from that 22 class, all representing our high school, our community, currently and within the next semester or so.
Right. Yes, and that leads right into NFL. I mean, there's Labor Day weekend is all about college and high school. NFL will start games next Thursday, but they don't have a preseason game this week, and the final 53-man roster went down at 4 p.m. on Tuesday. And let's give a shout out here to Deshaun Dixon here
Absolutely.
to make the Jaguars. And a little thing about the Jacksonville Jaguars, not only is he the 5th Bruin alum to be in an NFL camp, but he is the 2nd Bruin alum there to play for the Jaguars as Sharon Stith there in early 2000 and Deshaun Dixon, which with being a free agent, I mean, what a training camp he had.
Absolutely. But, again, a guy like him is awesome. I mean, he works hard, he cares. That's the other part. And to me, I guess the cliche term, it doesn't matter where you are, they'll find you. But they found a good one. They found a great one. So we're excited. And the cool part, I think the day before the draft, he spent pretty much the whole weightlifting day with us, just hanging out and talking to our guys and just pouring into our young men. And then on Tuesday around 6 o'clock or maybe 7 o'clock, Coach Thomas gets a text and we're right by each other. He made a 53-man roster. And then shortly after that, a quick phone call. And I was able to congratulate him through Coach Thomas' cell phone. But, we're happy for him. And, this is just a testament of our coaching staff, men like Coach Thomas, who have really poured into kids beyond the game of football to where they don't forget those gentlemen. And then, I would be remiss not to mention that, under the leadership of Coach Gibson, he mentioned that he was one of his favorite athletes to coach and knew that he had that potential to get to that level. So, we're very pleased, as a coaching staff and just being a part of Dixon's journey, I guess, if that makes sense. Just being a part of the process. So we're happy for him. We wish him nothing but health and success and a great year in Jacksonville.
Yeah, and real quick on Coach Thomas. I mean, Charles and I, first met junior high, a few years ago. But here with Deshaun playing for Jacksonville, I mean, we got to talk to Charles because the Commanders opening day game is against the Jaguars, and on the Commanders, he didn't go to Western Branch High School, but Pop Warner Elementary, Middle School, Jonathan Allen started at WB, and then Deshaun Dixon there. So definitely some Western Branch representation going to be going on at FedEx Field that Sunday.
Absolutely. I guess the safe thing to say is your people get with his people, and y'all work it out. I know how big of a diehard Cowboy fan he is. I don't want to get him too over the top. Yeah, but again, we those things are falling into place, and we've been preaching that to quite a few of our guys here that have that potential. You know, we're excited for you. All we want to do is be a part of the process, you know, and continue to be a continued support of you as you go through. And that's including our guys we currently have right now. I know the topic is Deshaun Dixon, but for any young athlete, just know, you know, coming here at Western Branch, we are, you know, just guiders of your process, you know, and then the rest is what the rest will be. But yeah, we're happy for them. I just wish, you know, 1 week at a time, nothing but, you know, continued success. And you know, that'll be awesome. But I did already mention that to Coach Thomas. Hey, I think they do come to Landover, Maryland on Tuesday. And I think Deshaun also emphasized that too. But, you know, all in all, we're happy for him. And, you know, I'm just pleased and blessed to have coaches like Coach Thomas on my staff. And that's not being cliche. We can't take too much for granted. You know, we got guys like Coach Black, Coach Addison, Coach Ed, Coach Ted. You know, I go through the whole list. Coach Lou, Coach Jones, Coach E. But we got some great men that these kids really love and respect. And, you know, that's, to me, is 90%. You say 90% mental, 10% physical. It's the same way. You know, 90% is all love for my kids. And the 10% is just the little things that go a long way.
Yeah, and I would like to, you know, wrap up here with, you know, the last thing. I mean, tomorrow I won't be at the game, but I'll be tuned in to, you know, follow along. I have an opportunity here to, you know, cover a little bit of Virginia Tech ODU, and
Okay.
I know Robbie Duncan is an ODU football
Absolutely.
alum, and then you and I both know a bunch of Bruin alums that played under Coach Jay, played with you, and played in the Virginia Tech football program.
Absolutely, quite a bit. I think it's going to be a lot of trash talk. You know, that 2018 upset, and now here we are, you know, several years later. I think, you know, it's going to be a good game. I got to be neutral, you know, and, you know, Robbie's obviously a great guy too. Love the way, you know, he's been developing our young men on and off the field. But, you know, I know without a doubt he's pulling, him and Coach Addison are pulling. But then you got Coach Joe Jones on our staff, and he's a Hokie. So, you know, it's a little bit of trash talk here or there at practice and in the locker room, but all in good faith. You know, at the end of the day, both teams got to line down tomorrow, and at the end of that hour or, you know, whatever it'll be, that will be the end result. So we're excited. Kind of neat that it's in Norfolk, and ODU is able to host them again. So we'll see. We'll be playing football right along with them. So, you know, we will see. But, yes, so I'm excited. Real quick, Coach Addison was able to be interviewed yesterday by Mr. Mark Davis from Channel 3 News, I believe. So it will be an episode coming out tonight or possibly today or tomorrow featuring Coach Addison during his time at ODU, his experience playing against Virginia Tech, and what he's doing now. So I'm excited for him, very happy for him. You know, to be able to share a story of where he is and what he's been able to do. And I'm glad he's a part of what we do here at Western Branch.
Yes, and for those, you know, Mark Davis just came to the area from Richmond, so that will be on Channel 3, WTKR. And if you don't say your DVR or you don't watch the program, you know, he definitely archives it on the website or Twitter. And yes, I do remember Brandon, you know, playing ODU, Josh Mariner, Brandon Carr, you know, just some other
more Bruins,
Western Branch alums. That's right.
Absolutely.
I would like to give a little shout out. I think Sports Talk with Rags here might change their title a little bit, but you know, Mike Sharp, longtime friend. It is B Sharp Fitness and Wellness Services LLC that sponsors Sports Talk with Rags. So definitely appreciate that. And I just asked Old Dominion Athletics, and they answered my email, and so I got a media pass starting at 3 there tomorrow.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Another Bruin on campus. Look at you.
That's right.
But hey, congratulations. I love it. I love it. Yeah, Mike Sharp, we appreciate you. This has definitely been an awesome platform to reach many and to, again, continue to allow us to share our story and success here at Western Branch, and allow our kids, voices and efforts be heard, if that makes sense. So we appreciate you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, and real quick here, I'd like to let Bruin Nation know that we'll talk more about it on next week's episode. But if you're planning on going to the Bruin varsity football game next Friday, it is Nansen River, but it's not going to be at Arrowhead or Warrior Stadium, right? Doesn't
Correct.
Nansen
Correct.
River football have a neutral field this year or something?
Yeah, we're going to play them at Kings Fork. So that game will be at Kings Fork, same time. Nansemond River versus Western Branch, but just a neutral site. They're getting new field turf put in, and I believe they're the second of 3 schools up to have their field, kind of put in. So, we will be traveling to Kings Fork to take on the Nansemond River Warriors next Friday.
Right. And so, hey, Rashad, appreciate your time. I know
Absolutely.
we had a lot of things to talk about, but I think Bruin Nation is going to definitely enjoy this episode. So good luck to the team, and go Bruins tomorrow. Any final tidbits?
No, that's it. We just want to line down. We need all you guys to come out. Continue to support us. We have done phenomenally well with attendance and fan base support. So we really want to say thank you in that capacity. And for all my Bruin alum football guys, former players, fans, and supporters, the Friendship Cup stays home. So I just want to let y'all know that the Friendship Cup is still at 1968 Bruin Place. But, we really appreciate you guys. Please come out and cheer these young men on. They put in a lot of work, and all they want you to do is fill the stands every Friday night.
Yes, and real quick, I know that we're, I know tomorrow night's the first varsity home football game, but what do fans do for tickets? Is it still the GoFan.com or that website?
Yes, we're still GoFan.com. I believe we are 100% cashless. So either there's a QR code or there's a scanner somewhere at the gate. But in most cases, most people purchase in advance, come up to the gate, and then that's how they get their admission. So, but yes, it's still on the platform of GoFan.com in order to get your ticket. Also, I'm sure many know you could go to the NFHS sports or website, NFHS.com to watch the game live, I believe. Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I know there's a platform where you can watch all the games live. I believe it's on Kaleidoscope or the NFHS network.com website.
Okay. All right. And last thing today, I was asked, what is so special about Western Branch High School and being a Bruin alum? Well, I think not only this platform, but I think the hats here that you and I mean, not only are we alums, but also having matching hats here on the
Absolutely.
episode. I mean, Bruin pride all over.
Always. To me, the biggest thing that makes this so special is our community. Again, looking what COVID gave us and look at how we're coming out of it and how the support is there, and not even on Friday nights. It's Saturdays, it's Sundays, it's Mondays. Someone is excited about what Western Branch is doing. And I think the community really drives our success.
Yes. And so, all right. Well, hey, Rashad, thanks again. And tell everybody that Rags won't be there in person, but we'll definitely be following along how I can go Go Bruins, and already declined umpire next Friday. So I plan on clearing out my schedule here to be over at Kings Fork next Friday night.
Sounds good. Awesome. I appreciate you, buddy.
All right. Well, hey, so that's a wrap here for episode 2 here in the 22 season here of Something Brewing here with Coach Cook, and kickoff time is 7:00 tomorrow. So that's a wrap, and everybody have a good evening. Enjoy the game and a safe Labor Day weekend.
There you go.